Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, obviously, we're Maker's Mark ambassadors and we're drinking Maker's Mark. It's a bourbon.
All right, we are sacrificing virgins on the Bourbon Note today.
You know, that may be overstating things slightly.
She must be unknown to man, a virgin. She must be delivered to the Kraken at the setting of the sun, or else the Kraken will destroy all Joppa and everyone within the city. I demand the light of Andromeda in 30 days.
So we are once again asking ourselves the question, as posed by Maker's Mark, what is the difference between American virgins and French virgins?
They mean oak, right? We're talking trees here.
According to Maker's Mark, it's the taste. So let's get into that and see what happens. So what we're talking about here
let's lay down.
These are the two Maker's Mark 2022 releases.
Limited releases.
One is finished with 10 toasted virgin American oak staves. The other one is finished with 10 toasted virgin French oak staves.
Yes.
And that's the same as it was last year.
Yes.
But this year they're focusing on the barrel placement in the warehouse.
Correct. So this is all about barrel handling, where sometimes this one I think is at the top of the warehouse where it gets really hot. This is more down low in the warehouse where maybe it's not quite the temperature swings. Okay. So we could definitely see potentially some difference.
Yeah.
And we may be even pulling in last year's because it is the same, we think the same mash bill and even the same wood finishing.
It's Maker's Mark, but it's the same, stave profiles as last year. So that's what I was kind of wondering when I saw these advertised. I was like, well, isn't that the same thing they had last year? But apparently they're all about the barrel rotation this year. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I don't remember. Are they like 109? Yeah. 109.4 and about,
109.4.
Yeah. So that's typically where they kind of come in with their limited release type stuff.
Interesting. I remember last year on what I believe was the American one was the first one. Yeah, a little fruitier, and then on the French one was a little more chocolatey.
More the chocolatey type notes.
I don't know if I'm really getting that this year, but
definitely on the first note, I'm getting what I would call floral on the 01, and then the chocolatey, desserty type approach from the 02.
I feel like the French oak ones, it's kind of like a little bit of a darker.
Yep.
Kind of vibe?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the 01 on the right and the 02 on the left.
Correct.
Let's get into it here.
Let's see what it's all about. Interestingly, the first note I got was chocolate. Now almond.
Getting the almond.
Building spice.
Yeah.
Better, incredible, just escalator to the stars. I kind of building.
We've had that with Maker's private releases and the
that's right.
The store picks.
Yeah.
They kind of have a building proof almost,
exactly.
where it's like this wave of flavor that just kind of shows up. Yeah, I'm getting a little chocolate on this one too, actually.
Yeah. Definitely some of the traditional notes, the bread. I mean, it's definitely a wheater.
Yeah. It's got a little extra oak edge to it. Now, I don't know if that's because of the barrel handling. I know that's what they're focusing on.
We don't know the age.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're going for a more oaky profile, though. You know,
Right.
they could be changing it up in places in the warehouse to impart more, just any kind of different flavors. So, but a little oakier than a typical Maker's Mark product, I think.
And to be honest, the thing that shocks me so much is the chocolate. It does have a nice mouthfeel, a lot of really nice, rounded flavor profile. So I'm curious where they're going to be with the other one.
Let's see what happens with the. I'm going to get a little swig of water here. What
little.
happens with the?
Yeah. Here's my 4-gallon.
It's actually a 40.
Now you've poured slightly more of this one, but it sure looks way darker. I'm looking.
Well, I poured about the same, but I drank half of that one.
But I noticed this 02 looks darker in the glass, but I am kind of looking at stage lights, and so
It does a little bit. Stage lights, I like that. This is actually a stage at a studio.
the whole world's a stage, Ben.
And actually, it is. It's our stage to drink bourbon.
All right, the 02.
little bit of a dustier smell in this one as
wow.
well. Kind of dusty.
And dusty is a weird way to describe something, but it totally is spot on.
Yeah.
Like you know it when you see it. Like when you walk into an old warehouse or an old like antique store, there's just a certain feeling that comes across as in smell.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. So I get chocolate on the nose, but on the tongue, I'm getting more of the caramel smoothness.
Absolutely just going to say that.
And
more caramel
butter
in this one.
And butter.
Yeah. Toffee a little bit maybe, like that.
Almost butterscotch even.
Yeah.
Like it's still
playing around in that category.
It's
of
in the dessert category, and it's fully owning the dessert quality.
Yeah,
like it
for
is
sure.
very sweet but not in a bad way. But lots of like sweet type flavor notes.
This one's a little more, I was getting a little more oak on this one. Are you getting a little bit of on the finish, a little bit of a bitter kind of tannic note from this? I'm kind of having that. Maybe it's like a dark chocolate or just that, like I said, like tannic kind of oaky sort of vibe. There's something like there's a bite on the back of this. Like it's
You're right, there is.
a little bitter.
But it has such and then I keep using the word round, but it's because I think it's the enzymes or whatever, however that works. It has such a viscous like density to it. It like you almost don't notice it. Like it hits you, but you didn't notice it. But on the back of your tongue, you get a little bit of a burn.
Yeah.
Like a weird like bitterness from like wood tannins, I'm guessing.
These are interesting.
They're
kind of hard to pin down.
They're quite different.
Yeah, they're noticeably different. In looks too, because this one has the 1980s rat tail on the back of it.
Rat tail.
You know.
Did
you have a rat tail back in the 1980s?
My hair's never wanted to grow long. Like there was times when I was maybe a little bit, but it would touch
like
my
a
collar.
little mullet action going on, kind of.
No,
borderline?
not even a mullet.
Or just
but
like that feathered.
Yeah, it just my hair doesn't really just grow long. It's just weird.
I'm gonna need a picture of that to put up on the screen.
I don't know if I have it.
Isn't there 1980s Greg on your Facebook page?
No. I don't
Anyway,
think so.
I had a rat tail back in the day. I think that would have been like 1989 maybe, when it was all the rage. 88, 89, I don't know. Something like that.
Much
I
more
have
wood
no
spice.
excuse.
I went
but
back to this one. Wood spice, dessert. So, I think maybe we should do a different video where we like pull in a bunch of Maker's Mark and just have fun. It's almost Christmas. And so maybe we do a Maker's Mark extravaganza video.
Yeah.
Because I want to compare this to that one store pick. There's a particular store pick that has 10 mocha staves, and it's very desserty. I think this would give that one a run for its money.
It could.
This one is very desserty and amazing.
I'm definitely getting oak influence on both of them. Maybe
Yes.
a little more on the American one,
Yep.
the number one. Well, we're gonna have to see what the blend tastes like.
Oh,
You know, I think last year when we did the, that was maybe our original first blend. We blended the two.
oh really?
I think it might have been, yeah.
The Benny Walker origin story.
Yeah, and we really liked it, so I don't see how this could go wrong. You know?
Well,
I feel like this is going to be good.
haven't-
Famous last words, right?
I don't see how this could go wrong. Stencil that on your tombstone.
Yeah, that's a great idea, yeah. Right next to the hold my beer guy on his tombstone.
Exactly.
All right, here's the blend. Cheers.
All right. So this would be the BRT03. You know, for 218 proof, that's not bad.
No, not at all.
I honestly think Maker's Mark needs to hire us because that was freaking amazing.
That's good.
Whatever that ratio was, and
Mine
of
was
course-
about 50-50.
Yeah, I think I'd go with 50-50. You know, but we won't tell Maker's Mark that. We'll just let them hire us and write a huge check,
Yeah,
and we will release BRT03, and it'll all work out well.
we are available for payment. On our Patreon as well. Check out our Patreon. We don't plug our Patreon or our merch nearly enough.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So,
You buy
yeah.
stuff like this or stuff like that.
Yeah. Check it out. And also, I just uploaded like a Patreon-only video. I just got back from vacation. I reviewed a couple of bourbons on vacation, some random clips of trying to find bourbon whilst on vacation. That's Patreon only, so you can check stuff like that out over there.
So I'm gonna do something unthinkable. This is a great blend, and I'm not being sarcastic. It really is great. But I am gonna pour. I saved a little bit of a previous review. I'm not gonna say what it is because it would be, it'd make the Maker's Mark people sad. And feel free to do a bit of a pour.
If you're telling me to, I'm gonna do it. So I'll go.
No, pour from the bottle into there.
Oh, okay.
But we won't tell people what it is.
We won't let people know what the bottle is?
They're just gonna have to guess.
Okay, by looking at the label that I'm clearly showing. All right.
But it is a weeder, so we're staying in the family, even though it's a competitor.
So now should I hide it so people don't know what it is?
We don't want to advertise it, what we're mixing in.
It's doing that as slow as possible.
I got it. All right.
Weeder versus weeder versus weeder.
I think the weeder's gonna win. So to be honest, what we've added is a lot of oak influence to this.
To already oaky bourbons. That's good too.
It's oak forward.
Not too aggressively though.
Not too aggressively. The first blend, which was just these two, this is very dessert forward, which I love, but it's not too sweet. I don't know how to describe it. It's in the sweet range, but not aggressively sweet. This really mutes some of that and brings it more of the traditional bourbon spice, and then adding whatever that top secret bourbon was.
This has the great Maker's Mark sweetness that we like, that kind of almond shortbread we always say. There's maybe some vanilla on here that we haven't talked about as well that kind of lightens up some of those desserty flavors. But this one's definitely more just general oak. This one's more with the sweetness, but then that oak tannic kind of, it's got a little bit of a bitter bite on the back end for me.
Which is, it sounds negative, but it's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a nice counterbalance to the sweetness. And again, it's not too sweet. But then that top secret bourbon that we added,
that nobody saw,
that nobody knows what we're talking about, brings a real, so there's some age obviously. If you don't know, it's 12 years old.
Sure.
And obviously that much time with the oak, they became best friends.
I would recommend, if you have these three bourbons, give it a whirl. It's good. Yeah, I would say thumbs up on these. How much did you pay for these? Do you know? Well, this one you got in a lottery.
So this one, it was probably either 70 or 80, I think is what.
I don't even know if they're that expensive, are they?
I think they're 70. Yeah, I think they are.
They push that 70 mark, I suppose.
Yeah,
sometimes,
I think they're 70 plus tax. In Minnesota, it's weird. Got this in a lottery, but it should have been 70 to 80.
Sure.
That's the appropriate price for it.
Okay.
And that's typically what the annual releases from Maker's Mark are.
Yeah.
It's in that range.
The reason I'm kind of confusing the price is I find with the store picks, when they
there
do
may be
own,
59 to 69.
They range from anywhere from 55 to 80, just depending on the store.
Yep.
So and it's weird too because smaller municipal stores, I always find them cheaper there, which is odd because they're usually a little more expensive. Then you go to Total Wine and they've got theirs for 80.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll probably pick one of these up. I don't have either one of these, but I would probably pick one of these up to add to the Maker's collection, which is getting a little lower because chipped away at it a little bit. But yeah, both of these are really good on their own.
I genuinely love them. I think last year's I'm looking forward to revisiting them. They're good. I like everything Maker's Mark makes.
I think that would be a good video.
But they were maybe a little aggressive, on the bitterness and the spice.
Last year's?
Yeah.
You think so? Okay.
I'm trying to remember what we did a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward. This one especially is way sweeter, way more round and smooth, and complex flavors.
I almost feel and this will be a fun video to do, which I think we should do it soon. Just the four of them, the 2 Americans and the 2 French. I feel
and a donkey walk into a bar.
I feel the 02 of this year, the French oak staves, and the American oak staves of last year are a little more in the same family, and then the other 2 are a little more. So then this is kind of going off of memory, but anyway, that's enough of that. Look forward to that video in the future.
Totally agree.
So, all right, well, this has been the 2022 Maker's Mark limited releases on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Share this video with a friend. Till next time. See you next time.